My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41. My uncle, George VI, Elizabeth's father, with Joseph Kennedy, who was ambassador, Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, and members of the New World Order, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, and former presidents of the United States have all been part, and the ones afterwards. Even Obama is now stated on tape that he's part of the New World Order, as is Elizabeth, who is illegal. Her father's the one that kidnapped me, took down his own brother, King Edward VIII, and a whole lie was made up about, I guess I better take this out. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Symbolism. But anyway, they brought me to the United States in 41. I was born in 39, and given the name of Peggy Ann Dempsey, I married a Childers. And Peggy Dempsey was a twin. Both twins were dead. They would have been born in a different year. And their birth certificates, which I have to use hers, has been just crossed through to the state of Alabama, which is illegal, and inserted the date given me that I grew up with. So that being said, all of it's been a fiasco at what the United States could do to the Brits. They installed their own monarch that represented them, George and Elizabeth, and this other little brood they've got going. They're illegal, but they've gotten away with it. They signed illegal treaties for the United States to put its bases all over British soil. Therefore, they had a launching pad for Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Elizabeth and one of my, well, they're the same relation to Elizabeth they are to me. I hate to say, but we're cousins. Where you would hold world court. She's part of it, the former queen, which is Beatrix. That's Holland and all of that. So that was a stepping stone. Now then, I've tried to load about 6 tapes, so I'm going to cut it short. I've pretty much put everything on here that I could. I was kidnapped, brought over. Moulton, Alabama is about 40 miles from where NASA began in the early 50s, and it's the command center, Redstone Arsenal, there in Huntsville. So hostage, when you've got a monarch, and that's who I am, the legal one, very good in getting treaties and just getting people like Werner von Braun and scientists, you know. He's a good man, Werner von Braun. He was taken out himself. So without getting too lengthy, I wrote a book about mind control in 77, 78, MD, A License to Kill. I was living at Moonraker. Larry Flint of Hustler Magazine was brought to Lawrenceville, Georgia, a few miles from Marietta, where I was doing the book. The man that shot him and killed his attorney in Lawrenceville, March the 6th of 78, was programmed. So I was writing about programming and doctors. I had worked for doctors, and they put chips in heart bypasses, etc. And you can control a person's decision making, and it really comes in handy if they're head of a corporation. This one that I was writing about was. But the programming goes further. Agencies, MK Ultra, the FBI, can program, and at an early age, and they have since the Tesla files back in 30, and they can program behavior into you, and you are so eager to follow through. The Americans and all these mass shootings, and they believe the government. They don't want to hear the truth. So ready to turn their kids over to the psych wards, to a psychiatrist. And let me say, in these mind control murders, there are lists of them. I started telling in 70, and I became aware of it, and in a sense, I was supposed to tell it. I found out about my kidnapping in 83, and the Brits told me. Not Elizabeth. She's living too good and part of the New World Order, and everybody loves her. She should be tried as a traitor to her country and for continued kidnapping, and she's stolen money, and everything that she's using is not hers. But she's got access to it. She has to open the government every day for it to run. So that being said here, I'll go back to the mind control. It's an invisible weapon. How do you prove it? The only way you can prove it is through the patterns that I've told about over the years since early 70. Now then, there's been a collection of a long list, and along the way, so much happened to me of hell. I haven't seen my children. I don't know if they're alive. They're heirs after me, not little William, or William and little George, who they named after, the gall of it all, naming him after the great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, George VI, who had kidnapped me, take down his own brother, and sell out to the Americans. All illegal, but it's been done. It's getting it undone that's the hard part. And the damage done to me, I'm chemical sensitive. When I was brought over, they tell me that, well, I found out that later, the last years, was done to me when I was brought over by the two men that brought me over and dropped me off at Moulton and the pigsty. So it makes my immune system attack itself, and through the years I've been force-fed chemicals. I mean, where I live, or when I tried to, because my jobs were shut down when I came to Roanoke, my tent, when I managed to get a tent or a sleeping bag, freezing, no food, people told not to help me, and I've been told so many times by the Americans, quite frankly, we don't give a damn. So you get another opinion from, if you could walk along and see people when they think they're anonymous, they're just talking to me. Well, they are, but what if somehow in the end there is a court and you could see all of this? You get a total different opinion of Americans. They can be good when they're giving away stolen money and pretending they're doing it for civil rights and blah, blah, blah. When you take away and you impose mind control, and these people, Americans, the media knew about my kidnapping, they know about the mind control murders, they're not going to tell it because they're controlled by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds and Elizabeth and Company and the American Rockefellers. Well, I'll say it again, everybody knows that. So the New World Order, which Obama is a part of, and he stated it on tape. So mind control is invisible. It takes away a person's ability to say yes to something. They don't know they're getting it. Then when they're programmed to go out and shoot like the Timothy McVeigh, Oklahoma City, or the Aurora, Colorado, James Holmes, which is being fed chemicals that are, mind control has nothing to do with mental illness. This whole thing that everybody's buying. You treat someone and lock them up and charge them for a murder that they didn't commit, they're victims too, and you say they're mentally ill and you give them psychotic drugs, man, you ought to lock the doctors up. If they don't know the difference in mind control and schizophrenia or mental illness, then you should get rid of the doctors because they're lying or they don't know their business and shouldn't be in it. And there's been a lot of those, and your media use them as reference, or an FBI assistant, or et cetera. Maybe the whole media should be disposed of and get somebody up there who can simply tell the truth. It's a little late for me. I've been done in. I would still like to see justice, which only God can do, to repay the Brits who have been good and the Germans, and repay the people who have done me in, which is Americans, most of them. There might be a handful. Now then, I'm going to end it because I've tried to upload, I don't know how many this morning, and they're not going, one reason or another. And I've used some pictures and photos. I've done that before in tapes, videos that I've done over the last month and a half. The mind control murders, when I came here, I had no job in October of '86, and my jobs were shut down, no place to live. It's so easy to shut you down, and a background check on me would show I can't even use my real name. Um, so it didn't show any of the truth. So many laws have continued to be broken and just killing me. When you're force-fed chemicals and told that you're paying for crimes, your family, they were referring to my German family, that I was paying for that. No, I'm paying for the Americans' crimes. And there's a lot more to that hasn't been told when they blame the Germans so much for crimes. It's the Americans that helped do it, and the good Jews. Think about the treaties in '47 and the Westgate in Africa, which was in Kenya, which was a British colony, and all the oil and diamond mines and stuff, and now Great Britain has nothing. You even stole the monarch and hold them hostage. So I'm going to go back to here. Virginia Tech, the 33 that were shot there, that was mind controlled by the Korean who ended up shooting himself. Aurora, Colorado, Sandy Hook, all of these lists, and it doesn't have to be mass. It can be like Ian Zorings next door in Bedford. He was German diplomat's son, and his friend was Elizabeth Haysom. They were students at Charlottesville, the University of Virginia. That was done with a butcher knife. That was in patterns. They're victims. He's in Buckingham State, Virginia State Prison for a crime he didn't commit. And Elizabeth in Goochland. That was her parents. Okay, ask yourself about Andrea Yates, Mrs. Russell Yates in Houston. What if you were programmed to kill your children, and yes, they can make you do anything they want to? That's a myth that they can't. She spent time in a mental hospital, diagnosed when it was mind control used on her. One has nothing to do with the other. Now she's serving life sentence. I want to go to Virginia Tech. There were a number of them done there, and I'm not going to get into them like I did this morning. It wouldn't go up on video, so I don't know what the problem is. But I'm going to say that I put this yesterday. I put it on Facebook. I have turned it over to the media. They're not going to tell it because it would lead back to me and my kidnapping, which is, if you knew the things done to the world, let me put it this way, I don't think they would condone it. It's so horrific, the crimes committed against me and my children and my country. And my parents never got to get me back. And I'm going to quit because I'm going to say this. I'm just going to use the Virginia Tech, so this one hopefully will go up. Last night, after I had certified letters when I didn't have money, I'd crawled, frozen, starved, begged. Last night, I get up this morning where I'm staying. I go over, I get one meal a day for breakfast here, and included with my rent. I go over, and lo and behold, there's a whole bunch of Virginia Tech people here, alumni and Tech students. And my thing is, if I can hardly walk because of the chemicals used on me and all that, but if I walked up and tried to tell one of these people my story and the real truth, you know what they would do? They'd call the cops and have me hauled off. So after all this time of telling and me paying for the crimes Americans have done to me and my country and have allowed to happen to their own people, and I'm just going to say a few of the list here. You got John Bonet. I don't know why they'd come out with that one just yesterday again, Ramsey. You've got O.J. Simpson. You've got Ricky Nelson, and yes, these can be proven. John Lennon, and I'm going to stop with that and see if this will upload.